Welcome everyone to the final part of this three-part intro to project management in GitHub. While this is not going to be the last video of my discussion of GitHub, it is going to be the last video in this setup of our projects. Here we're going to talk about code reviews, or as they're called in GitHub, pull requests. Anyways, let's pick up from where we left off. So the last thing that we did is we added Ottawa to our capital of Canada, and that was to the feature cap branch. I'm going to go ahead and go back to my main branch, and I want you all to notice how my development file actually changes when I go back to main. So I'm going to type in git checkout main. Look at that. The capital of Canada has disappeared. This is why we want to do branching. This allows us to implement changes to our files without changing the underlying main production branch. Remember, you always want one branch to be fully functional that doesn't have anything new in it. This is also what we call our production branch. This is the branch that's doing the important work of supporting a website, supporting a Tableau dashboard, supporting an app. Everything else that has some changes that need to be reviewed are going to be segmented off to branches. Okay, so let's take a look at the branches that we have so far. So we have feature cap. We've already implemented this. We filled out the capital of Canada. Let's move on over to feature pop, which is the population of Canada. So I'm going to go ahead and type in git checkout feature pop. And as you can see, feature pop does not have any information listed for the capital of Canada. The developer that's working on feature pop is actually not responsible for this, but they are responsible for the population of Canada. Now the fun part about this project is I am both developers. In your capstone projects, obviously this is going to be two separate developers. Anyways, I'm going to go ahead and just wing the population of Canada. I'm guessing it's something like 25 million people. That seems fair, right? Let's go ahead and do 25 million. Great. I'm pretty confident with that number, so I'm going to go ahead and type in git add development1.md git commit -m added the population of Canada, and then finally I'm going to type in git push. One thing I want to remind you all is that we should do many commits and only one push. And the reason that we want to do this is because we want to make sure that we are separating out our changes into as many commits as possible, and we only want to do a push once we're done with a batch of commits. You'll see this in your email. If someone is doing a lot of pushes to their branch, it's going to blow up your inbox. Not a pleasant experience. Anyways, let's keep moving forward. So that is our feature pop done. I'm going to go back into main. Now let me teach you all the process of code reviews. So let me just list out exactly what we're going to talk about today. We are going to talk about how we code review and also how we integrate code. Okay, so am I sharing my entire screen? Yes, I am. All right, I'm going to go back into my GitHub repository. As you can see, GitHub is super useful. It's telling me that there are already some changes in feature cap and also feature pop, especially if I refresh. There we go. All right, so let's start out with pull requesting feature cap. I'm going to go ahead and click on pull requests. And this is what you're going to do when you're ready to integrate your changes or ready for your changes to be reviewed. This is a common workflow in the world of software development. You work on a branch, you assume that your branch is ready, you create a pull request, also known as a merge request. So let's click on compare and pull request for feature pop. And as you can see, this actually creates an, in fact, actually, let me backtrack here. I'm going to click on New Pull Request. And as you can see, I have some options. The drop-down menu on the right-hand side controls which branch I'm pulling from. So that's going to be feature cap. And I'm almost always going to be pulling into the main branch. Sometimes we have another branch that's like the testing branch. However, I'm going to forego that. We're not going to talk about that yet. I'm just going to pull straight into the main branch. Here are all my changes. I've listed the capital of Canada to be Ottawa. Looks good. I'm going to hit create pull request. And then usually, and we'll talk more about how to leave a good pull request description. For now, I'm just going to write down what changes I've made. So changes that have been made, added the capital of Canada to development 1.md. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and click on create pull request. So now that I have this pull request created, I'm just going to go ahead and also create another pull request for feature pop. So I'm going to click on this drop-down menu, feature pop. We're going to go into main, create pull request. All right, changes, added the population of Canada to the markdown file. Oh, and by the way, we could also request specific reviewers. Currently, there's no one in this project except for me. So as you can see, I'm all by myself. I don't have the ability to request any reviewers or assignees or labels. Labels are pretty useful. I could label this a bug. I could label this documentation, enhancement, all those great things. Oh, sorry about that. Darn, okay, it undid my work. Sorry, I'm going to pause the video for a second. All right, it was actually pretty trivial to get all my work back. Anyway, I'm going to hit create pull request. And now, as you can see, I have two pull requests ready to go. One pull request that has some great labels associated with it. I recommend that you also label your pull requests and your issues, just to give you all or just to give the tester an idea as to what they're actually pull requesting. All right, so once again, I'm playing both roles here. I'm playing both the code reviewer and the developer. Usually this is going to be two separate entities, right? So the code reviewer is usually going to be someone like the let's say, product owner and maybe the tester, but honestly, I'm going to say that anyone could be the code reviewer. However, the product owner and the tester should be involved in this process as well. And then finally, we have the developer. And that could be anyone else. Anyways, so I'm going to play the role of the code reviewer, or the tester rather. Okay, I have two pull requests ready to go. Okay, I see this developer named FSED included the capital of Canada. Let's see what he did. So let's take a look at this thing. All right, what changes has he made? He added the capital of Canada to development 1.md. Okay, nice and descriptive. Let's take a look at what files they changed. And I recommend you all cycle through these files. I'm not going to talk about them exactly in the interest of time. I'm going to focus on files changed, however. All right, so let's see here. They added the capital of Canada, which is Ottawa. Yeah, let me add a comment here. Could be a point of discussion, or it could be an improvement, a recommendation for improvement, or it could just be like, a thumbs up, like this is looking good. Looking good. Wow, thanks, Farouk. All right, so I'm going to add this single comment. And once again, there's two different ways we could leave feedback. We could either just like leave individual comments, or we could leave entire reviews. An entire review and it falls into three general categories: either a regular comment, a approval. Pull request authors can't approve their own request. Darn. All right, whatever. Looking good. Anyways, you'll all be able to select one of these things, either a request for changes or an approve or a general comment. If it looks good, you're going to approve it. If you need changes, you're going to request changes. Or if you just want to make a comment on the code, maybe a request for documentation, you'll also leave a comment. Anyways, so now that I've given myself a gold star, I'm going to click on merge pull request. And yes, I'm going to confirm the merge. All right, look at that. I've successfully merged in my branch. I could actually go ahead and now delete my branch. I'm just going to hold off on this for now. All right. So let's see how this actually changed my main branch. Look at that. The capital of Canada is now being listed. And then if I go back into my VS Code, and then now I'm going to take a look at my origin main, you'll notice that development.md actually does not list the capital of Canada. That's because I actually haven't pulled my changes yet, so I need to go ahead and type in git pull. As you can see, by typing in a git pull, now Ottawa has pulled up. This basically shows that in order to update my GitHub repository, I need to type in git pull. And basically at the start of every single development cycle or at the start of every single workday, you should always be doing a git pull to your repository so that you can see what sorts of new changes have been pulled in. It's actually quite dangerous to not do a git pull for a while, because let's say you're developing, and then after 2 weeks, you are ready to integrate some changes. What if you do a git pull then, and then you realize that someone has already created those changes already? Yeah, just for concurrency, make sure to always do git pulls. Okay, not to belabor the point, but I just want to show you all one more caveat of pull requests. So I'm going to take a look at the files changed. So this developer wrote that the population of Canada is 25 million. That's actually incorrect. It's actually 38.25 million. So I'm going to review this. I'm going to give this a scathing review. This is wrong. Change immediately. Just kidding. Definitely do not, comment like this on the workplace. You're working with other people. So yeah, exercise some of those soft skills. Ooh, conflicting files. All right, this is perfect. This is exactly what we want to see. Anyways, so now that I've gotten this feedback that this is wrong, I actually need to go back here. I'm going to check out feature cap. No, not feature cap, rather feature pop. I'm going to change this to 38.25 million. Git status, git add development, git commit, fix population bug, and then finally git push. Cool. Now that this has been resolved, let me go back to files changed. Oh, look at that. They fixed what we requested. This is great. Good job. All right. However, I'm not done yet. Now I'm actually getting a merge conflict with one of my files. Merge conflict basically arises when we have two changes or more than one change on one file or on one line of code. Let's see what's going on here. I'm going to click resolve conflicts. All right, so check this out. It seems like it doesn't, well, essentially GitHub does not know which batch of changes to keep. Doesn't know if it wants to keep this version of changes from main or this version of changes from feature pop. This is where the team lead will step in. They will decide exactly how to resolve this merge conflict. Sometimes merge conflicts are not resolvable through this GUI, this graphical user interface. However, this is one of those instances where it is. So this basically happened because we didn't have necessary separation between this line of code and this line of code. Yeah, I kind of actually expected this to happen. I think if we didn't want this to happen, we maybe would have separated out these two lines of code in some sort of better format. Anyway, hindsight is 2020. So let's go ahead and make the following changes. So this is exactly what I want to be merged. So I'm going to click Mark as resolved. I'm going to commit merge. Great. And now finally, now that this merge has been fixed, merge conflict has been fixed, I'm going to click merge pull request and hit confirm merge. And then if I go back to my code, everything looks great. Capital of Canada is Ottawa. The population of Canada is 38.25 million. And once again, I'm going to go back into main, and I'm going to perform a git pull. Once again, a point of cleanliness in your repository is that it is a good idea to always delete branches after you're done pull requesting them. Yeah, let me emphasize that one more time through text. Always delete branches after you are done with them. All right, so that is the GitHub workflow in a nutshell. In the remaining videos to come, we will talk about some more nuanced applications of GitHub and ways we could more intelligently handle merge conflicts. All right, see y'all later.